Hello everyone, very good evening. Volleyball Shadima. And this is a very important session for all those aspirants who are preparing for our degree examination in six. So this is our session, ARD current session. So in this session, we are going to cover the current affairs from 24th of January till 30th of January. So the aspirants who are there in the session, please let me know that everything is okay, the voice is okay, and the screen is also clearly visible. So there are some important events happened in this week of January that we discuss here. Okay? And we can expect that there might be questions in your examination from this portion. Okay. So let's start our discussion. Am I clearly audible and visible to everyone? Yeah. Is that sound clear? Screen is clearly visible? Okay, let's start our discussions now. Okay, let's go ahead. So, before going ahead, aspirant, this is a complete batch available to you on the application of Volleyball. Okay, so you can be the part of this complete course. Okay, you will be provided with books, and you guys can connect with me on Telegram. That is Varsha Dhima, that you can ask your doubts and queries related to operations. Plus, you will also get the information related to the classes that we are going to. Okay. So let's move ahead. So firstly, you guys might have seen the 2020 at 26th January Republic Day tableau TV or in the news article. Okay, so there was a specific tableau from Jammu and Kashmir, from the hill parts of okay, and this double humped camels. Okay, they are carrying 250 kg of loads of our armies and like in this particular session I'm going to tell you about these camps, okay? Or like what are the names and what are the important features associated with this camps, okay? And what is their IUCN status, okay? And for like to put which particular region of our country they, okay? So let's talk about these camels. So these camels are known as Bactrian camels, okay? Because these camels were originated from an ancient Central Asian region, and the name of the region was Bactria, and that's why these camels are known as Bactrian camels. Okay, so let's talk about them. Two Bactrian camels, their names were Galwan and Nubraz, will feature in the Republic Day Parade 2026 on Kartavya Path as part of the Army's animal contingent, highlighting Ladakh's unique cold desert heritage. Okay, so I also saw this particular camel there in the Republic Day parade, and you guys had also seen. Okay, so let's talk about these camels. Like, what are the peculiar features these camels are holding, and why they are so unique in the cold desert area. Okay, so first thing that they are having these double humped. Okay, so they are having these double hump and they are adapted to extreme cold and arid conditions of Central Asian cold desert. So they are not found in the Thar desert area. They are in the cold desert area. Okay, they're specifically found in cold desert regions, or mainly they are found only in Ladakh. So if I talk about where they are in India, so they are only in Ladakh, Nubra Valley, making its appearance nationally significant. So this is the only region where you can see these camels. Okay. And if I talk about globally where you can see these camels, so you can see these camels in Mongolia, China, Kazakhstan, and the parts of Central Asia. And from where they are originated, so as I mentioned before, like these camels are originated from Bactria region, and that is an ancient Central Asian region. Okay, so they were domesticated nearly 5,000 to 6,000 years ago in Central Asia, around modern Uzbekistan or West Kazakhstan region. And if I talk about their IUCN status, like where in the red list of IUCN they are, so they are critically endangered. Now, if I talk about from examination point of view, what you have to cover here. See, you need to know about the scientific name of camel. Like in the previous year, we are having the scientific name of goat, sheep asked in exam. So as this camel is in news, so definitely you can be asked about the scientific name of this camel. Okay, so the wild bacterian camel is Camelus ferus. Wild bacterian camel, Camelus ferus, or domestic bacterian camel is Camelus bactrianus. Okay, and that is common and domesticated. Like you can like they can live in the normal household conditions. Okay, they are not found in the wild conditions, they are found in the domesticated condition. Okay. Now, what are the important features of this camel? One such is that is making them peculiar, making them more highlighted is the hump. They are having two humps. And what the role of humps you know about? We discussed, we are aware about the camels from our school days, like they are having the humps, they are storing fat in it. Okay. So that they can use that food. Okay. So they are storing the fat in it, not water, and providing energy during long periods of food scarcity in cold deserts. Okay, they can tolerate the cold conditions like long, shaggy winter coat insulates against sub-zero temperatures and is shed in summer to prevent overheating. Okay, so you can see that they are having a long, shaggy winter coat over them. It's a nature's way to protect them from extreme sub-zero temperature condition. Like this is a way that they can protect themselves in the winter season. And in the summer, what happened? This shade off. Okay, they are not having this shaggy winter coats in summer, so that they can prevent themselves from over. Water efficiency, they can drink up to 35 gallons at once and safely consume saline water unavailable to most animals. Okay, like they can consume, like if the water is having a lot of salinity in it, so that water can they can also digest. Okay, diet adaptability, so their tough leathery lips allow it to eat thorny, bitter, and highly saline desert vegetations. So their mouth parts are also developed and modified in such a manner that they can eat something which is having thorns, which is bitter, and they can also feed on the vegetations which are highly saline. They are broad hoofs. So they are having the broad hoofs because of which they cannot sink in sand, while long eyelashes, they're having the long eyelashes and third eyelid which protects their eyes from sandstorms. So these are the important features these camels are holding. Okay. Although we cannot have the feature related questions in our exam, but we can have the questions related to their scientific name, their gestation period, which we usually cover in our static portions. Okay, and then now they are important because recently they were seen in the Republic Day parade. Okay, so in the year 2026, these two camels were visible there, Galwan and Nuka. Okay, so these are the names of the camels. And what's the role these camels are placing in our Indian history? So, like, this is not that we are talking about these camels now. These camels are having a very important role in our history. Like, they are integrated to our Silk Road trade, okay, linking India, Central Asia, China, famed as the ships of the Silk Road. So, these camels are considered as the ships of the Silk Road, okay, used by caravans that enable movements of goods. So on these camels, we can have, as it was mentioned, like guys, if you guys had seen Republic Day parade, so they are the component animal contingent, and on them 250 kg of loads can be loaded, and it can you can take it from the different locations. Okay, so they are the part of our Indian Army. Okay, so they are used to, like, loads are loaded on them, and that's how we travel with. In Ladakh, supported trans-Himalayan commerce and connectivity before mechanization. Now we have the machines, now we have the automobiles and vehicles, but earlier when we were not having the automobiles or vehicles, so these were the main that was supporting the connectivity and commerce in the Ladakh. Okay, so that's all about this particular news. Now moving on, another important news article, that is urban tap water coverage has increased from, so earlier it was 49% in year 2011 and now it has increased to 77%. Driven largely by the implementation of Amrut and Amrut 2.0 under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So under this ministry, these two schemes were implemented, and under this, it is observed that tap water coverage in urban areas has increased. Okay, so you can see here 20 lakh sewer connections added, 7,480 acres of water bodies rejuvenated, tapping potential 6,008 Amrut projects of 83,000 crore approved after launch in 2015. Okay, so this is some data related to this. Now, if I talk about this tap water coverage urban India, so it refers to the proportion of urban households receiving piped water supply within premises, ensuring reliable, safe, and affordable. Okay. So we talk about the Jal Jeevan Mission, okay, which is basically for providing tap water facilities in the rural households so that they can have the affordable, reliable, and safe drinking water at their step, at their home. Okay, so this one is related with the urban areas. It is covering the urban households. And till now, if I talk about this particular mission, has now covered 77% of households under it. Okay, and this one I had already discussed in the picture before. Now, Jal Hi Amrit, water recovery cell, water resource recovery cells set up. So these cells are like established in 25 states or UTs. Amrut Mitra engaged with 28,000 plus women self-help group members. Environmental benefits, what kind of benefits the environment will get uh, with these? So 7,480 acres of water bodies rejuvenated, 2,704 acres of green spaces are developed. Okay, so what's the significance of this? If I talk about these missions, so what kind of significances these missions are holding? Improves public health outcomes by reducing waterborne diseases. So if everyone will get the drinking water facilities at their doorsteps or in their houses directly, tap water facilities, so definitely the public health outcomes will improve. Waterborne diseases will reduce. Okay, and in this manner, the urban water security will be advanced and climate resilience via reuse and demand management will occur. It will also promote inclusive urban developments, especially for the urban poor, supports sustainable cities through integrated water, wastewater, and green infrastructure plannings. Okay. Now, so this is about this particular news article. So in this manner, we had covered two important news article of this 24th to 30th January week. Okay. Now we are having another news article. So as it was mentioned in the Union Budget of 2025-26, like in the next 2-3 days, we are going to cover the Union Budget of this year, okay, and we'll also see that we are focusing upon development of the fishery sector, okay. And in the meantime, I'll also cover the key highlights of economic survey, okay, of the year 2025-26, where we'll discuss about the agriculture sector developments and the fishery sector development. Don't worry about it. I'm going in our upcoming sessions. Okay. Here I want to tell you we are focusing upon developments in our uh, fishery sector. Okay. And in this manner, if we are observing that there is any such area which is having a huge potential where we need to focus upon, so we are ready to take any such step in the directions, right? So here you can see in a major boost to India's maritime infrastructure, Union Department of Fisheries has sanctioned the development of a smart and integrated fishing harbor at Maya Bandar, which is in Andaman and Nicobar Island. Okay. See, if we are targeting to develop this sector, so we need to be ready for all such potential steps that we can take to build, that we can take to unravel the potential of these areas. Okay, and one such is this particular action. Okay, so smart fishing harbor at Maya. Okay, so it's a town. What is it? Maya Bandar is a town and tehsil and the administrative headquarters of North and Middle Andaman district. Okay, and it's a key economic fisheries and tourism hub. So if we talk about the northern Andaman region, so it is a key area there, okay, where the fishery activities are possible, plus the tourism hub. It is also known as a tourism hub of the area. Okay. because it is supporting the tourism of the area. So where it is located in the northern part of Middle Andaman Island within the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay, and if we talk about this particular area specifically, so it is, so this is the location of this area you can see here. Okay, we don't need to go in more detail, but we should be aware of, okay, where this particular area is located. Okay, and what are the geographical features, why this is important to develop this area, why it is important. So one is Karmatang Beach. What is that Karmatang Beach is, why it is important? So it's known as turtle paradise of Andaman. Karmatang Beach is a globally recognized sea turtle nesting ground. Okay, so sea turtles use this area for their breeding season, for nesting, for their laying eggs. Okay, and that's why it is a vital eco-sensitive zone where olive ridley and leatherback turtles returns annually. So this area we need to focus upon, like we should not disturb it a lot. We need to scientifically conserve this area because it's a hub of olive ridley turtles and leatherback turtle, because they are like visiting this area annually for nesting. Okay, next is Interview Island. So this is the largest wildlife island in the Andaman group, and it's notable for its because this area is having natural freshwater springs and limestone caves. Okay, which is a rare feature in saline island systems. Okay, so this particular island is also near this district of Andaman. Then we have Aves Island, which is also located near this area, Maya Bandar. Aves Island is a unique uninhabited coral island known for extensive coconut plantation and clear lagoons. Okay, see, uninhabited means like human populations are not residing in these areas, but this area is having extensive coconut plantations and they are having clear lagoons. Okay, and Mayabandar lies within a seismically active zone and highly productive marine ecosystem. So the area that we are mentioning here, this is having a good production and it is having a good marine production ecosystem. Okay, so we need to develop it. We need to have a good, smart, and integrated fishing harbor there so that we can we can take the advantage of this potential. We can exploit it in positive manner. Like we don't need to harm the ecosystem or the eco practices going on around this particular area, but we need to do all the practices in a very scientific. Okay, so what are the features if we will prepare this smart and integrated fishing harbor at Maya Bandar? So what are the important features it will hold? So this new harbor is not just a landing site, it's an integrated tech ecosystem designed to handle. So it will handle 9,900 tons of fishes annually. If we talk about this harbor's capacity, vessel capacity, so it's safe berthing and landing facilities for 430 fishing vessels. If I talk about its IoT enabled system, so integration of digital traceability and IoT so that real-time monitoring of the activities will be performed so that any such illegal activities will be monitored, and if you're observing any such activity which is of no use or which can cause harm to the biodiversity there, we can have a check over the activities on sustainable management. So it's focused on combating illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing practices in the areas, energy efficiencies. So we are also working on establishment of green energy and eco-friendly post-harvesting handling so that, see, whenever we talk about the fishes sector specifically, as a fishes are the commodities which need to be in the market at the right time, because we generally the fishes sale as a live. Okay, so they are having a very less shelf life. Okay, if we will not be able to transport the fishes to the markets in a real time, what will happen? We are about to face a lot of losses. So there's a need to manage their supply chain good. There's a need to have good post harvest or that value addition practices so that we will be able to the losses if they're about to occur. Okay, so we are focusing upon energy efficiency practices. We are focusing upon implementation of clean energies, and eco-friendly post-harvest handling so that the losses can be minimized. Okay, so that we'll have less losses. Okay, yeah. Yes, very good evening, Tofik. How are you? Yeah, how are you and how's your preparations going on? So, how was your phase one and phase two exam, huh? Moving ahead, let's talk about another important news article. So recently, we are about to have solid waste management rules 2026. So let's talk about. Okay, so what are the important points related to it? Okay, so it is found that yeah, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change notified that solid management rules 2026 will be supersede the 2016 rules. Okay. See, like after exact 1 decade or after exact 10 years, we are about to come with a new solid waste management rules. Okay. So these new solid waste management rules will be in effect from 1st of April 2026. And these rules introduce a technology driven polluter pays framework. And okay, so like if you are polluting, if you will not follow, so definitely you have to pay. Okay, and they will be driven by the technology. So technology, we are focusing upon the involvement of technologies in major of our practices to have the real time data and to maintain more transparency in our activity. Okay, so what's said about solid waste management rules? So they are comprehensive regulatory framework and they are notified under Environment Protection Act of 1986. Okay. And what's the main aim of these rules? To integrate the principles of circular economy. I already explained the concept of circular economy so many times. Like whatever is coming out as a waste, they need to utilize it as a raw material for our next process. Okay, so that is a circular economy. Like nothing will go in a one process only, it will be utilized as a raw material for the another product. Okay, so that's a circular economy concept. An extended producer's responsibility. If I am producing anything which is causing harmful impact on the nature, so I'll be responsible for it. Okay, so here producers responsibilities are extended and the producers like when the something will be in waste, so you are here to gather it again and you are about to use it for the next cycle. Okay, so your raw material is not about to cause any such harmful impact on the nature. It should be in such a manner that you can reuse it, you can recycle it. Okay, so that India's waste management infrastructure and that will lead to zero waste to landfills. We need to focus on the practices so that we will be able to utilize each and every component of the waste that is generated. Now, how this solid waste management rules are originated and how they had evolved with the yeah, so in the year 1986, we come forward with an Environment Protection Act, and under this, a parental legal framework was provided. Okay. Then in the year 2016, okay, previous rules introduced basic segregations and landfill management. So that waste should be segregated, the dry waste, the wet waste, and they should be placed in the different baskets as per the nature of the waste. And then we need to focus upon the landfill management for the different types of waste. Now we are coming ahead with the new and updated rules which are going to be effective from 1st of April 2026 and they are more technology driven. Their their main shift is their main focus is shifted towards on-site processing, digital tracking of the waste, and economic penalties to ensure compliance. And the penalty will be paid by you, like if you will not follow these rules, and because of which any such negative impact will be caused, you will be responsible and you have to take the responsibilities of. Okay. Now, what are the another important features of these rules? So are you guys able to get all the things that we are discussing now? The students who are in the class, please let me know the things are clear to you or you are having any doubt. Is everything okay? Give me a thumbs up. My voice is okay to you? Am I clearly audible and visible? So let's talk about key features of solid waste management rules 2026. One is four stream segregation as sources. Okay. So waste generators must now segregate waste into four distinct categories. Okay, so if you are generating the waste, obviously, we all are aware about one thing, that this particular waste is solid, this is liquid, this is wet waste, this is dry waste, this is sanitary waste, or this is special care waste. Okay, so all these waste should be decomposed or segregated before at the source only, and then they will be in the further buckets. Okay, so wet waste include the kitchen waste and the fruit peels. Okay, dry waste include the plastic, paper, metals, and the glasses. Sanitary waste include the diapers and tampons must be securely wrapped. Okay. Spatial care waste. So it includes the paint cans, bulbs, and expired medicines designated collection point. So all the waste should be segregated at the source and then they will go to the further buckets. Bulk waste generators accountability. Entities with the floor. So if there's an entity which is having a floor area of 20,000 square meter or generating 100 kgs plus waste daily, are now considered as bulk waste generators. Okay. So if any such entity which is holding the area of 20,000 square kilometer and more than it, okay, and if they are generating the waste, so they will be considered as bulk waste generators. So as before we discussed about extended producers responsibilities, so definitely, so here also they will be having extended bulk waste generator responsibility. Okay, like you must process your wet waste on site or purchase EBW, like extended waste bulk waste generator responsibility certificates. Okay, so you need to segregate it. This is your responsibility. And these bulk waste generators account for 30% of total waste, making their role critical for decentralization. Like whatever the waste you are generating, you are taking the responsibilities of it, like how to segregate it and how to decompose it. So this is your responsibility. You are taking the responsibilities of it and collecting the certificates also. Okay. Next is a polluter pays and environmental compensation. So for the first time, Central Pollution Control Board will levy environmental compensations for operating without. So if you are operating anything without registrations, false reporting or forged documents, improper waste disposal practices, you have to pay the environmental compensations. And Central Pollution Control Board levy these. Digital tracking and online portal. A centralized online portal will track waste from generation to disposal. Like this waste is generated here and here it is disposed of. So there should be a portal where you can track it. All audits, registrations, reporting for waste processing facilities must be done digitally, replacing physical paperwork. So there will be no paperwork, all the things will be digitally added so that anyone can track them. You will have all the genuine informations about the activities going to manage the waste. Use of refuse derived fuel. Okay, so industries, especially cement plants, must replace 15% of their solid fuels with processed non-recyclable plastic or textiles over a 6 year period. Okay, so in the next 6 year period, they need to be shift towards it. Okay, another is special provisions for hilly areas and islands. So basically, what happened, like whenever we visit to any tourist places or the hilly places, so this is our basic nature. We have food there, we enjoy the environment there, and we dump the waste there. Okay. So now there's a special provisions added in this new management rules, tourist regulation. Like local bodies can regulate tourist inflow based on waste handling capacities. Like how much waste the area can handle, on that basis the local bodies can regulate, like this much tourists will be welcomed and after that you are not allowed to. User fees, mandatory waste fees for tourists to fund high altitude waste management. Okay, so if you are visiting any high altitude place, so you need to pay a fees. Okay, that is a mandatory waste fees, because definitely you are going there, you are generating a lot of waste there and you are throwing it in the nature, so you need to pay a fees. Okay, so when these kind of strict actions will be taken against you, definitely you will consider your responsibilities and start doing. in a very conscious manner. It happens now. Sometimes it happens like you are doing the things until or unless if you are not fine over it, you will keep on doing it. So that's how this is a very good like point added to the new. I'm I'm personally feeling this is something which is really good. Significance. So what are the different points and why it is important? So firstly, higher landfill fees for unsegregated waste make it cheaper for local bodies to process waste than to dump it. Time-bound biomining and bioremediation of existing dump sites with quarterly progress tracking. The quarterly progresses will be tracked, and where the bioremediations are working, biomining are working, so they should be time-bound. Like it's not like the activities will take years and you will not be able to handle the waste. No, you need to do it in a specific time frame. And you have to report it. Like this much activity is performed, and this much you are going to perform. Okay, so everything should be done in time framed manner. Right. So this is all about it. Now we are having another important news article to discuss. So yeah, so recently on 26th of January there is a specific mention. Okay, so what it is about? So the Ministry of Panchayati Raj launched Pancham. What is it? Panchayat Assistance and Messaging Chatbot. Okay, so this particular like chatbot was launched on the eve of India's 77th Republic Day. Okay, and it's the first of its kind. It is having two-way digital bridges between the central government and over 30 lakhs elected representatives. Okay, so they can have one-on-one interaction with this tool. Okay, and it's a WhatsApp-based AI tool designed as a digital companion. It will act as a digital companion for rural locals. Okay, so what's the advantage you will have if you will use this chatbot? So it will eliminate the need for complex apps or middlemen, allowing sarpanches and ward members to access government data through the familiar. So now you don't need to interact with any such complex apps or middlemen. You can directly chat on this particular platform, and that's how you can access the data, and that's how you can reduce the drudgeries or that you are about to. Okay. Another, so ministries, if I talk about the ministries and the collaborations, so the main ministry which is associated with the launching of this chatbot is Ministry of Panchayati Raj. Knowledge partner is UNICEF, United Nations Children Funds. What are the aims and the objectives? Direct connectivity, like government can directly link with the village level decision makers or the sarpanches. It can create information saturation like 100% awareness of central and state welfare schemes, feedback loops. So there's a real time channel. So field level issues will reach to the senior policy makers and there will be no challenge or no like all the loopholes will be reduced. Okay. And another feature, so if I talk about the features of this Pancham, uh, it can support multiple languages, so the language barriers will be reduced. Okay, it's integrated with AI powered Bhashani engine. Okay, it can speak and understand 22 official Indian languages. And where representative is in Kerala or Mizoram, they can interact in their local dialects also. Voice based assistance also. So voice notes can also be supported by this chat box. Okay, so users can record the questions in their language and the AI tool will help them to get the solution they are facing. So it is having multiple advantages. WhatsApp integrations is there, real-time data is there. So you are about to get all the issues and the challenges you are facing in the problem. So central government and the local level policymakers, they will come together on a common platform to discuss their issues and to solve the issues and to get a real-time solution for all the problems. Okay. Geotagging support is there. So how is it significant for rural India? So in this manner, direct informations on grants and funds will be provided to them. Okay, the chances of corruptions in between will be reduced. Okay, and it will also empower the women pradhan. So basically, it happens if any area is having a women pradhan. So most of the time, the male members of the family they are about to visit all the meetings and other things. Now the women pradhans can interact with the central policymakers with the help of this AI chatbot, and that's how they can have all the information, real time information, like what are the things actually going in the different meetings. Okay, they don't need to travel to the long distances, and they can have the real information in. Now, now we are having some important news articles related to the economic survey. Okay, so you might have seen the specific sessions where we had discussed about the economic surveys. Okay, and here we are going to talk about like what it is mentioned related to the agriculture and the fishery sector and other such sectors, elite sectors. So economic survey documents the strength of Indian agriculture in rural India. Like we had witnessed a good growth in the last few years in the agriculture and the lead sectors. Okay. So Union Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Shri Shivraj Singh Chauhan ji, he mentioned that this year, like economic survey of 2025-26 has specific mentioning the growth and developments we had in agriculture and elite sectors in the past year. Okay. So, firstly, let's talk about sustained and stable growth in agriculture. So, in the last 5 years, agriculture and elite sector has recorded an average annual growth rate of 4.4% at constant prices. If I talk about the global average, so it is more than the global average even. Okay, and if I talk about in the last 10 years, agriculture sector has a decadal growth rate of 4.45%, which is highest if I compared it with the previous decades. Even in the second quarter of financial year 2025-26, agriculture sector registered a growth rate of 3.5%, which is also showing that our agriculture sector is having a good strength and resilience. And if I talk about the financial year 2024-25, country's food grain production reached a record high of 357.73 billion tons. Okay, so these things we had already discussed in our previous current affairs sessions, but here we are marking because they are highlighted in our economic survey. Okay, and we are able to achieve that much growth in food grain productions and meeting all the growth rate parameters because of improved outputs of rice, wheat, maize, and coarse cereals, including the Sri Anna or millet. Right? Moving ahead, if I talk about the horticulture, it emerges as a bright spot in agriculture sector. So we had observed a good growth in the horticulture sectors, okay, and that is because of increase in the productions of onions, fruits, vegetables, potatoes. So let's talk about. So with nearly a 33% share in agriculture gross value added, horticulture sector has emerged as a brightest spot in Indian agriculture. Okay. Horticulture production increased from 280.70 million tons in the financial year 2013-14 to 367.72 million tons in 2024-25. Okay, and we also observed that we had improved our food production, fruit production, vegetable production, and other horticulture crops. And India emerged out as a world's largest producer of onion, contributing 25% to global onion production. Second largest producers of vegetables, fruits, and potatoes with a global share of around 12 to 30%. Okay, so this is important, guys. And similarly, if I talk about the rural development, okay, so under the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, we are capable of creating and having a good rural connectivities. Now, all the rural areas have connections with the urban areas, okay, and we are having the all weather roads, okay, and that is covering the major cities and the other such hilly terrains, also hilly states, also, right? And with this, we are also transform the housing, digital empowerments, and the livelihoods. Okay, under the housing for all, urban houses are created. Under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin, rural households are created. Under the Swami Tattva, okay, that is for the what we call it as land ownership rights are provided. Okay, and under the Digital India Land Records Modernization Program, digitization of 99.8% of land records in rural areas has been completed. Okay, so these all are the achievements that we observed in the agriculture, elite sector, and the rural developments. Okay, now another thing, let's talk about the last and one of the very important article. See, you suppose I am having a organization here, okay, and we are suppose dealing in any such commodity which is very much essential for all the peoples who are living very far away from it. So what I need to do, like I need to have a good transportation facility so that I can supply the commodities to the people who are in need at the right time and the right amount. Okay, then only my product will get a value. Okay, and the people who are in need, they will get the right thing at right time and they can utilize it, and that's how they can sustain their life. Okay? So similarly, fertilizers, okay, fertilizers are manufactured at a specific locations and they have to reach to the people who are living in the rural part of the country so that they can utilize it in such effects, and that's how they can fulfill their requirements. So how we can have this good connectivity? So to have good connectivity so that the right amount of fertilizers will reach the right people at right amount, railway ministry and the department of fertilizer, they come in collaborations. Okay, so that like whatever the fertilizers are produced at a specific locations, they can move to a specific sites and they can help in boosting the rabi crop production and the kharif crop production. Okay, so this is something which we noticed or observed in the year 2025, and because of this collaboration, we observed that our agriculture growth production has improved because fertilizer department and the railway ministry, they worked in collaborations with each other to supply the right amount of fertilizer to the farmers at the right time. Okay, so this is something which is very important and need to be mentioned. So during this period, average rake loading increased to 72 rakes per day in July 2025, rose to 78 rakes per day in August 2025, and reached 80 rakes per day in September 2020. Okay, so now for urea, against a requirement of 312.40 lakh metric tons, availability of 350 lakh metric tons as was ensured. And major P and K fertilizer like DAP, MOK, and PKS, which saw availability of 287.79 LMT against the requirements of 252. Now we are having enough, more than enough, to have to fulfill the fertilizer requirements. Okay, and that is possible because of the collaborations between the railway and the fertilizer ministries. Okay, so you can see the data here. So this is the data of 2025-26. Okay, so total supplies receipt of major fertilizer from April to December. So it was 530.6 LMT. Similarly, urea and P and K rake movement from April to December, you can notice. So it has improved to 10,000 for 841. Okay, that much rakes were like supplied, and this is a monthly wise, like how much we had observed in the year 2025-26 and then the last year. So we had observed that we had improved. Okay, so you can see the increase here, right? So that's all about the news articles that we have to cover. Now I'm ending the session. Okay, so before ending today's session, aspirant, this is a complete course available on the application of Olive Board. You can be the part of it, and that's how you can do us. Thank you so much, and all the very best.